welcome to the Odd Shaped Balls Zoomcast. I'm Andy Thompson. With me, I've got the two from BBC Cumbria, Jordan Weir and Dan Payne. How are we doing?
Evening. All right, mate. All right.
Nice of you to join us.
Thanks.
Jordan?
Yeah, you're looking a bit warm there, Dan.
Mate, this is why people are now going to understand the face for radio. It's their fault that they want to watch this on a Zoom. Andy's just trying to shame me. I've just got in from work, and yes, I might be semi-naked, all right? I don't care.
We've sort of got to polar opposites, really. I'm still wrapped up from being out with, from coaching tonight. Oh, dog's kicking off. I'm still wrapped up from, coaching tonight, and there's you with your going all page 3 on us.
If I put this camera down, mate, we'll be getting kicked off, I tell you.
Get the views up.
No, we won't.
We'd have to use a magnifying glass.
Steady on.
So, transfer special then, gents. So we'll start off with Whitehaven basically raiding every amateur club in Cumbria. Well, at least they've got, you know what I mean. They've gone from a professional. They've gone to a professional setup, haven't they? Pays exactly the same from amateur to Whitehaven, but imagine they might get a free bacon butty or food when they go to away games or something like that. Is it?
That'd be something like that, won't it? Yeah, something sort of along them lines. It'll be, you get a bacon butty. You might get a salad on the way home if you're lucky. You know, maybe what was left out of Tesco. You know, maybe on the Saturday before it should. You know, something along them lines.
Still paying £10 a head for the away bus as well, so you can play in away games.
Oh yeah, you could still pay your subs. Yeah, of course you have. Don't know why I bothered to.
Don't be like that. So going into transfers then, so you've signed Clark Chambers from Kells and Cal Garner from Kells as well. Sure they'll appreciate you robbing two of the lads there, will they?
Yeah, I'm sure Peter will be absolutely loving that. And if rumours are to be correct about the West Cumbria rumour mill, which we sort of mentioned last week, he won't be the only one from Kells making the step up to the professional game, whether that's with ourselves or with Workington. If the rumours are to be correct, it's not just Clark and Carl that'll be making that step up, and it could be difficult for Kells if they're going to lose any more to sort of whether it be Whitehaven or Workington, because they're obviously relegated from the Premier Division this season of the NCL, and start losing any more players. It's that Division 1's becoming a really competitive division as well in the NCL. It's becoming, like I said, really, really competitive below the Premier Division. So Peter will be hoping he's not having to lose too many first teamers and not having to blood youngsters going into what will be a tough campaign in Division 1. But yeah, I've only heard good reports about Clark and Carl. I'll be honest, I haven't seen an awful lot of them play. I'm going on what other people have told me, but I'm only hearing good things. Young, enthusiastic lads, and the way that Whitehaven's going in 2025, it's it's obviously the way they are going. If I can get my words out, that they're looking to try and get these enthusiastic local youngsters through the door.
Another amateur club that'll be thanking you is Millen for signing the duo there. Is it Jack Newbeggin? You'll have to. I'll apologise if I pronounced that one wrong. You didn't help me with that when I asked you before, Jordan. And Josh Blinkhorn as well. I think he was a former Furnace Raider as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, done a bit of research on Josh. Yeah, come out obviously former Furnace Raider, and Jack Newbig, and I think both of them's played Community Lions as well. With that, so got obviously international honours alongside yourself, Andy. You've got international honours, haven't you? Wink, wink, hint, hint. But obviously, two former Community Lions, sort of with that, and good that they're wanting to make that step up. It's sort of been talked about a lot of years, hasn't it, for the last few seasons obviously at Whitehaven, while, there hasn't really been too many locals, within the squad, or too many making the step up from the amateur game. And I think sort of that transition from what would be even NCL Premier up into the Championship would be a really, really big step up. We've only seen a few make that transition into West Cumbrian professional sides in the last couple of seasons. Really, Carl Dixon and Curtis T is the only ones that successfully made that step up, and who's been able to sort of find it and hold their own in the Championship. I think coming into League One, despite it still being a really big step up, it's going to be, it's going to be easier to make that step up, obviously, into the third tier than what would be the second tier. So it's good to see these young lads are taking an opportunity with both hands and are wanting to test themselves at a professional level.
And then you've got Jack's back as well, Jack Kellett from Hensingham, after his impressive debut against Halifax.
Yeah, community. Another one who's represented Community Lions, was an integral part of Hensingham's team this season and the last couple of seasons, really, as captain of the Hensingham side, and obviously they got promoted this season in Division 3. It took Hensingham a couple of years to find their feet at NCL level, obviously jumping up from Carla. I think they lost quite a few players as well over the last couple of seasons before they made that step up, really. They did lose Jordan Thompson sort of end of 2018 to Whitehaven initially, and then he went on to Workington. Jake Bradley had returned and was sort of in and around and involved in their 2018 season where they'd sort of won the Cumbria Cup and such things like that. And I think they'd applied for NCL Division 3 a couple of times before and being knocked back. And I think on the step up, probably the first half of the season they had all the players they wanted to, but then injuries start to take their toll. The travel probably starts to take its toll, and they struggled towards the first couple of seasons in the NCL Division 3. But Chris Cowards could be in former Whitehaven and Workington prop and done really, really well, and Jack was a big part of that and helping that side get promoted. And as you mentioned, had a fantastic debut. Didn't look out of place against a Halifax side who are full of star names, and he'll be open to push on now, get a full pre-season behind him, and hopefully see what he can do next season in the chocolate blue and gold.
So then going into some of the players you've signed from your feeder club, Workington, you've signed the Towns Player of the Year, Jordan Burns, and Jordan Thompson as well. Yeah,
really, really big fan of Jordan Burns. Obviously, I spoke earlier about Jordan, and he's one of them that made that step up. He didn't make the grade. He'd been at Super League academies previously, and obviously hadn't made the grade. Come back and played some junior rugby for Kells before making that step up into the 2014 season, and was, obviously was only a youngster then. He'd have been sort of 18 when he made that step up, and was a mainstay in that Whitehaven side once he'd broken into the side, and he scored 4 tries on his final game for Whitehaven in his first spell as Whitehaven secured the league leaders back in 2019. And it was real disappointment that when he decided that he had to step away from the professional game at the end of that season, and then made his return. And I said about when he made his return that we'd had that conversation, and I'd went away from that conversation thinking, yeah, Jordan's coming back. We're gonna have him. And then 6 weeks later, he announced he'd signed for Workington, and he's now a really experienced player. It's something that when you look at the signings that Whitehaven's made so far, it's probably something that he's lacking. And you've mentioned, obviously, the stepping up from the community game. So he's going to be a real leader on that field. And I think when you see what Anthony Muddy said about him, that his enthusiasm and for the game and wanting to do things right, do his job right, and do it correctly will hopefully rub off on this young side that's going to be. And Top boss Jordan Thompson as well. He's another one that obviously he stepped up with Whitehaven sort of late 2018 when they were having issues themselves, similar to what they had this season in terms of numbers, rather than sort of any of the too much of the financial issues. But they were going through some issues again in 2018. He stepped up on a trial initially from Hensingham and signed up for 2019. Didn't get probably as many games as he wanted to in that 2019 season. I think it might have only been 7 or 8, but yet again was still there, and he decided to go back to the community game. He initially went to Kells rather than going back to Hensingham. I think he had a season at Kells, but then obviously he's made the step back up with Workington, and Anthony Muddy's really rated what he saw, and I think especially coming into League One, I think he's going to be a real stalwart for Whitehaven next season. Yet again, there'll be now some more experience in the pro game under his belt.
So to timestamp this, we're recording nearly 10 PM on a Wednesday night. So you've also announced the signing of Ethan Bickerdike from Town as well tonight as well.
Yeah, Ethan Bickerdike's come in. A player I've only seen, obviously, from when he's played Workington. Normally he'll be in them Workington Whitehaven games, but when I've seen him, he's a player that doesn't seem to have put a foot wrong. He's seemed to have been well liked by the town fans and the town coach and staff, and obviously, you know, Murray's decided, you know, to bring him over and obviously go with that. Don't know an awful lot about him, but in terms of outside of that, but I'm assuming that, you know, obviously Muzza does like him. He's fetched him on board, and another one who's got a few seasons under his belt now at professional level, and yet again he'll just want to bring these younger contingent on, the likes of, you know, Clark Chambers, Carl Garner, Jack Keller, you know, them sort of players. They'll be looking to fetch them on and get the experience that obviously Ethan and the two Jordans have.
So obviously he's been a bit greedy with news this week. So Connor Holiday has also re-signed for the season for his 11th season at Haven.
Yeah, the only re-signing so far, and to be honest, I think we said we're not expecting an awful lot more, are we, from Whitehaven? Obviously, there wasn't that many of their own players left at the end of the season to re-sign. You know, so I'm not expecting probably an awful lot more to come from in terms of re-signings from Haven there at least. But yeah, Connor's been an absolute mainstay. You know, in the last 10 years, as it will be 10, 11 years that he's now gone into his 11th season. Believe he could have gone forward for his testimonial if he wanted it, but he's decided to hold off on that for now. Obviously, he still sees himself maybe a bit too young for that. He's still only 29. And, you know, going into the 11th season, still under the age of 30, just shows you how early you come into Whitehaven. And one of them that struggled to probably nail down a position in his younger days. Obviously, you know, he was coming on the wing as only being sort of 18 and 19-year-old lad. Played a lot of his early rugby at centre, but now he's matured and sort of grown and physically grown and got to know the game of rugby league a bit better, that he's become a mainstay at second row. Been a bit of injury worried over the last couple of seasons, and he'll be looking to put that behind him. He was hoping to try and get back from a knee injury that sort of ruled him out with the second half of the season, but the season ends come sort of a week or two too early for him in terms of his rehab. I think it's sort of probably the issues that were there at Whitehaven as well probably won't have helped, because, you know, maybe not seeing the correct medical staff and such things like that. You know, it was tough at Whitehaven, so he maybe didn't get the rehab he exactly needed, and that's no disrespect to anyone that was trying to rehab him, but he was sort of disrupted by folk coming in and out at Whitehaven. So yeah, now he said when I spoke to him for Whitehaven social media that he's good to go. He's back in, just trying to maybe do some strength training and such things on the knee, and he'll be one ready, raring, fit to go, and yet again one who should be and hopefully will be leading from the front in 2025.
So I'm going to bring you in now, Dan, for some of the Barry Raiders news. So we've had the bad news this week that Ellis Gillam's going to be leaving the club to pursue full-time opportunities.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have more on that story as it progresses, but obviously there's contracts and things that need to be finalised at that end of things. But Ellis has said he's going to jump on and he's going to come and talk to us on the podcast about his future as he tries to venture into the full-time game, and I do hope it all goes well. He's taken a big gamble on himself, and rightly so. I think he's fully deserved it. It's something he spoke about for a while, to be honest. He loves Barrow. He always will. And it wouldn't surprise me if at some point he probably retired at this club. But at the same time, he's young, he's in peak form, and as long as he stays fit, there's no stopping him taking him to the top. And I believe, and I'm sure you've seen plenty of him as well, Andy, that and you, Jordan, you'd have seen him in a Whitehaven shirt. The guy's got massive potential, I think, still, that's yet to be unlocked. And I think going down that pro route could definitely see even more from Ellis Gillam in the future.
So I might be just saying this with sort of Barra tinted glasses, but for me, he's probably one of the best front rowers in the league.
It'd be hard to argue, yeah. It's like when we talk about Cresswell probably being one of the best fullbacks in the division that hasn't experienced Super League. There's a lot of guys there at ex-Super League, and it's hard to really say, oh, he's the best. But I think Gillam probably comes under that category as well. Hasn't had a proper Super League career as such. He's probably one of the best middles in the Championship that doesn't have that experience. So, yeah, I'm probably with you with that one, Andy.
Yeah, it's not just a big loss on the pitch as well. It's sort of around the town as well, all the work he does for the community. He's like what T. Ritson was, incredibly popular with, especially with the younger ones and everything like that, and the stuff he's done with the Raiders and that as well.
Yeah, working with the team. Yeah, working with the Advantage team, going around schools, working with all the guys and girls that have got special needs and things like that. He's become a massive favourite, a massive favourite as well. But he's got a heart of gold. He's got a terrible karaoke voice. I'm sure he loves a good rap song. There's me. I can't talk about that. But Dan Diamond over here. But no, he's very well liked, and he'll be very, very well missed as well. And I don't think that's the end. I don't think that's the end for him in a Barra Raiders shirt, though. I do believe he'll more than likely finish his career in a Barra Raiders colours.
So we'll move on as well. It was announced last week that we've signed Ellis Robson from Keighley as well. Try scoring back rower.
Yeah, he's had a pretty good start to his career. He played a bit of time. Well, I think he started on the books over at Warrington, spent a lot of time on loan. I think he had 3 different spells over at Widnes, Dewsbury. I can't remember now. Top of my head. He had a few different teams, but obviously he's come to light over the last few. Well, Keighley this season especially. He had a fantastic record this year, and I mean, I won't say I've watched a lot of League One this season, but one thing I do notice when you see one eye, if you will, on Keighley, is that Robson's name was popping up more and more and more, and he's one of the big fan favourites there, and somebody that Paul Carey and his coaching team have had his eye on for a while. Where he fits in is yet to be seen. Will he be the second row replacement for the so-called retired Jared Stack? Possibly. We'll have to see. He can play in a few places. I think like the second row is more preferred. He can play in the prop as well, and bit of experience at loose there, I think. So quite a versatile forward anyway. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with Robson. But I think with his try-scoring record last season this season, if you will, from Keighley, it wouldn't surprise me to see him fit and slot in nicely with the second rowers.
So one thing we've seen as well from IMG that's come out today was about sort of development pathways, and obviously we're seeing that for Barra Raiders now, from Workerton to Whitehaven, and then players moving through them sort of amateur ranks to Barra. So obviously two lads who made that jump is Curtis T and Ryan King. Crest has finally got his man.
He finally has got his man, hasn't he? Ryan King, indeed, yeah.
He looks happy about it.
It's the man. Yeah, you can tell I've been ready for this, weren't you? No, Ryan King he's the superstar. He really is. Jordan, you'll know Ryan better than anybody right now, but Crester's admired this guy for a long time, and I'm intrigued to see how he gets on under a bit of Paul Carey coaching. I know Jordan's picked up on it in the past. He has left. He's gone to Halifax. For whatever reason, it hasn't worked out. We hope, with our Raiders colours on, that it does work out at Barrow. Even if it is for one season, if it's for 10 seasons, it doesn't matter. I'm sure he's going to have a good crack at it, and I bet none of us really. We can't wait to see how he gets on, and I think he'll be a massive favourite very quickly.
Absolutely. He was the firm fans' favourite at Whitehaven. Initially as a water boy, as a ball boy. So when he initially come over in 2021, he come over with a knee injury, and he come over when he did because the rules were changing around Brexit, and obviously he was coming over on an Italian passport rather than an Aussie one, so he needed to get in as early as he did. He probably would have been better staying in Australia and doing rehab, but needs must, obviously, Brexit means Brexit and all them sort of things, whichever way you want to look at it. But yeah, so it was one of them. But once he come into the side, probably more so towards the end of the season, you could see why Whitehaven had took that gamble on him to fetch him over when he did and continue his rehab over here. And then he's only grown into the Whitehaven side over the last few seasons. Obviously, moved away at the end of 2022, was it? Going into that 2023 season, and it didn't really work for him at Halifax. I think you see that with a lot of the Australians and those that come over. They come over to Whitehaven initially, and they get the feel of West Cumbria and Cumbria in general, and it's probably a completely different county to where anything else at rugby league's played in this country, isn't it? It's so, despite it being so big, it's such a tight-knit community, and when they go to these other clubs, a la Halifax or anywhere else, obviously Lachlan Walmsley went to Halifax, now at Wakefield, and they go to these sort of other clubs and they realise it's not just quite Cumbria, and I don't know if that's what Kingy had struggled with, whether it was. I know he was in a relationship. He still is in a relationship with his partners. He lives up here in West Cumbria, so I don't know if that was sort of an issue as well. But he just didn't seem to settle in at Halifax. Scott Griggs wasn't. It didn't seem really to be in his plans, but he was in enough of his plans that when Scott Griggs released him, he didn't allow him to play against Whitehaven. Play against Halifax. So obviously, sure he was worried for that deck for the rest of that season when he came back. But especially since he's come back, he's been such a versatile player, whether it be in at second row or in at loose forward or even deputising in the halves. And he's a New South Walesman, so I initially called him Darren Lockyer on the radio, but he said no, no mate, it's going to have to be Freddie Fittler. So I kept calling it anytime he was deputising in the halves, it was Ryan Fittler. But he's one of them that he will give you 110% week in, week out. He'd done it injured so many times this season for Whitehaven, battling a knee injury and obviously all the issues that they had. I'm gutted that we've lost him, that we weren't able to keep him, but not being able to stay in the championship was obviously going to be a big thing for that. And obviously, I think all the issues that happened at Whitehaven, he just felt he needed, whether it's a year, whether it's more, out at Whitehaven, because he says he wants to come back. Whether that does come to fruition or whether he ends up loving Barrow as much as he loves Whitehaven now. But yeah, I'm gutted we weren't able to keep hold of Kingy.
That's just what you say to a girlfriend, isn't it? When you want to keep a keen after you're going to move on to the better one.
You're always there.
Just keep it in the back pocket just in case. So another one who's come through the development pathway towards Barrow Raiders, Curtis Tier. Weird tears.
I can't tear. I mean, we had absolutely no idea that Curtis Tier was going to sign for Barrow. There was no hints of anything thrown out absolutely anywhere from the club. This one came out of the blue. I'm sure you'll agree, Jordan, will you?
That nose is going to come right through your phone screen in a minute and hit me up here. We've already mentioned this previously. Cresta practically announced it when he spoke to you ahead of the Derby game, and all fares in love and war and COVID cards, isn't it? You know what I mean? If Whitehaven wanted to play the COVID cards, as you mentioned, why not throw out as Cresta did, and all's fair in the Cumbrian rivalry? And I'm gutted to be losing Curtis as well. He's one of them that yet again has gone above and beyond, especially this season, playing with injuries and such things like that. That I said if you'd had a 20-man squad and he was one that you would have to leave out because of the injury that he had, he was never going to get better without being on the sidelines. But he continued to put his hand up week in, week out, whether it was on the wing, whether it was in its centre. I'm still not sure probably what his best position is because he does such a good job at both. I'm probably thinking centre will probably be where, if he's going to nail down a spot in that Barrow side, that's where it'll be. I think it'll be in the centre. But yeah, he's one of them that he just give, you didn't get a bad performance from Curtis to you. You're going to minimum of a 7 out of 10 every week. And when he got the opportunities to score tries, he took them. And yeah, he's going to be another real big miss. Curtis, and obviously he's going to complete the Cumbrian trilogy. Still only young into his professional career, but he's going to have an opportunity to continue playing Championship rugby, and very good luck to him.
Yeah, I know Paul has been quite open recently, even on his Sharks holiday. I'm ready for everything here. Paul Crairy's on a holiday. I think he's back now, but he's been quite open throughout the season about how much he wants to get some proper centres in, because at the moment he's just almost rotating. He's pushed Shane Toll out to the centre with Ryan Shaw in there as well, and Brody at times has had to play in there, and they've done a great job, don't get me wrong, but I don't think that's their preferred role. And I think to have really Curtis Tier probably on one side, I imagine Matty Costello on the other, they'll be the dead cert centres, and then you can have a little bit of rotation as well, bringing Shaw, Shane Toll. There's lots of guys. Brody as well. Brody can go anywhere. I think it doesn't matter where you put him, but Luke Cresswell does need a rest now and again, and I'm sure Brody would prefer to play at fullback. But at least now, the way that Barrow are signing these players, they are giving themselves some options, So it always makes you think, doesn't it, all these players that are coming in, I wonder who's coming in next. We'll have to speak more. We'll We'll have to speak more to Paul Crary once he gets back from his shack holiday.
That's not happening. That isn't. It isn't. I don't care how much you think that's happening. It isn't. And if it is, hats off to you. But I can't see that happening. And for anyone that's listening, there was a singleton there. I'm not saying which one. There was a singleton there. Make your mind up which one it is.
Anyway, I didn't mean to do it. That was my phone was playing up. I don't know what popped on the background there, to be honest. I don't have a clue.
Just naturally have a load of Cumbrian-based rugby players in your photo album, don't you, mate? You just like to look through before bed.
You do not want to see what's on my phone, Andrew.
No, we don't. No. You're absolutely right. Because it'd be pictures of food and caramel shortbreads.
Yes, yeah, you could say that. Definitely plenty of caramel.
So that's basically the last of the transfers that have happened so far this week. I imagine by the time we do it again next week, quite even 11 over 10 amateurs in, ready to join the Barrow pathway.
They better not. I'm going. They better not. I'm going on holiday. I don't know who's going to announce them.
Just have to do them in bulk. Obviously, Monday as well. We've got the Barrow Raiders season review as well. Hopefully, Crest will have all his limbs intact, and you might be able to get hold of him in time for that.
I'll do my best. It's been busy getting people on the cheap gas and Lecky. So yeah, I'll go. I'll go catch up with Paul hopefully as soon as I can, and we'll have a bit more updates on the progress. Basically.
I'm going to start charging you for sponsorship anytime that's mentioned. You know what the going rate is, Penny. It's every time you mention it, it's costing you.
Hold on, is that where you've been? I thought you were serving the good people of Barrow some pizza from Santa Marina and had to make some sandwich dough. I thought, what's all that about? Have you just been conning people out to cheap gas and Lecky again?
I've got my fingers in lots of pies, Jordan. That's my thing. Though I've had a few people
tell.
off at work. Hey, touche, pot kettle black and all that. Is it? don't start on me tonight. I've had a long start of the week, I tell you. But no, I will go. But go on.
It's 10:15 at night, and we've been waiting for you. We've had a long day.
Jordan, right? What I'll say on this is, I am going to mention Dan's cult, right? What's he said, right? Oh, yeah, you get all this time free. It's great working from home. You pick your own hours. And then he goes and complains that he's overworked and tired. Like, which one is it? Which one is it, Penny?
Oh, he's going to put a picture up here. He's going to put a picture up here now, isn't he?
Go on. It's going to be Ben Fogel or something like with duct tape around his mouth in his basement.
What do you mean? What, have I gone off?
Yes.
Yeah. Just got your little smoke radio face on now.
Oh, am I back?
Yeah, you're back now.
Sorry, I was waiting for another picture.
Well, yeah, but that was all it was. It was, pick your own hours, do what you want, do this, do that, do the other, and then he complains to us that he's... And now he's got a picture of Tierrington. I'm like, what's going on, Daniel?
Sorry, I'm just preempting my conversation I'm having with Paul this week.
Asking if T's coming back.
Do you know what? It's one of them things, isn't it? I think ever since he's left, and in all fairness, I don't think his St Helens career has really took off as much as probably what he'd have hoped. Yeah, I think a lot of Raiders, he was that well loved around here that a lot of Barrow players always see how he's getting on and would love to see him come back in any capacity, even if he was on loan or a dual reg or anything like that. And I'm only teasing, obviously, but I'd like to see him. I'd like to see him back.
Does he not fancy his spell in League One?
In League One,
he likes getting paid.
Well, Saints can continue to pay him and come to us. He'll be another, and then he can be another one that completes the Cumbrian trilogy.
Or meet the coach on a game day.
No, that was Callum Shaw. No, that's yeah, that was Callum Shaw. That was Callum Shaw at Bradford with that was bad times.
Hey, I'm your new winger, aren't you? You got your subs. We're skint.
All paid them. It's all right. We're all good.
How did it work with his shirt? Did he take it home with him, put it in the washing machine and send it back through Every or something?
Every, Jesus Christ. Other parcel providers are available. Probably better ones as well.
They sponsor me, Every.
They sponsor you?
Yeah. What they do, I've got this deal with them where I get a parcel that's due on a Monday and it arrives 3 weeks later.
Hey, you know, like, we're losing sponsors by the minute here. Like we're losing potential sponsors of second by second.
I'll dodge every on that anyway. About as good as Whitehaven for money, I think.
I want to ask you a question, and then maybe you can throw it back to me. Obviously, in terms of transfers and sort of such things like that, where do you feel the Raiders need to strengthen, or potentially need to strengthen? Do you feel that Cresta needs to be looking at a particular position or a particular sort of player type that you want to look at bringing in if you want to stay in the Championship or not be in a survival battle next season?
I've got three positions in mind. What do you want to go first, Penny?
I was going to say, do you want me to go find a new background and give another teaser away?
Well, you go for backgrounds. I'll say the positions I think we need. I think we need a standoff. And as much as I feel Walker has done a good job for us, I'd like to see him as a loose forward.
Yeah,
and have him as a third pivot. If we are losing Stack, I want to see a second rower coming in to sort of complement Kingy in that back row, and another sort of decent front rower, like a similar to Ellis Gillum, sort of to fill that gap. And then I think we'll go into that season looking strong.
Have you still got the 2 9s? Have you still got Wood and Smith?
Yes.
Yeah. So
for now, I've not heard anything to say otherwise. Like,
yeah. Penny?
No, I don't want to get myself in trouble and change backgrounds again. So, but I'm with Andy. I think a halfback is, and always was, probably for this year, a necessity. It was just because Brad Walker put his hand up at the start of the season when they were struggling to get. I mean, it's easier said than done, right? Especially for us teams up that are stuck in Cumbria. There could be 10 halfbacks on the market to go and get, but then can you get the right halfback that can commit around his work commitments? And if he's like Manchester based, the 2-hour drive, 3 days a week, for match days, and it's a big commitment. So it's trying to find the right one. It's probably why you see a lot of these Cumbrians and stuff, and why Barrow take all the Whitehaven's best players and Whitehaven take all the Workington's best players. It's just easier like that, isn't it? But I mean, could there be a hint there that maybe?
I mean, we could probably
maybe a Cumbrian-based halfback could be coming back into the Barrow team.
Well, that's what I want to ask, because obviously there was a Cumbrian-based, a Barrow-based halfback that left Barrow because he wasn't getting game time. Is that do you think that's a possibility?
Well, be a possibility.
I'm going to put a name. Are we speaking Jake Carter?
We are speaking Jake Carter. Yes, let's put a name to it.
We'll talk about rumours because it's transfer rumours, isn't it? Sure. Obviously, I've heard the rumour about Castleford. Obviously, there's rumours about Barrow as well. There's, obviously it's silly season now, isn't it? So
I don't think the Castleford one is so much a rumour that I do think he spent time with Cass, and someone can come out and prove me wrong. I'm not saying this is gospel, but I'm sure he went and spent a few days with Cass, potentially earlier this season. And I think it was fetched up in the sort of fans meeting at Whitehaven about Jay Carter and Castleford, and it was sort of batted away at the time. And yeah, I think we've all heard the same rumour, as we mentioned. The Cumbrian rumour mill's always in full swing, especially with half of Barrow working at Sellafield and half of Whitehaven and Workington working at Sellafield as well. But yeah, no, I mean, is there an opportunity now for Jake to stake a claim to that shirt that he potentially wasn't able to do when he was there first time round? That seems a perfect opportunity for him to come in now, and potentially try and stake a claim if that's what he wants to do.
I'd agree with that. I think the issue obviously with Jake was playing time on it at Barrow Raiders. I think he had Sam over him as well at that point. Jono was looking like he was in form, and he obviously has carried that on now. So him going away, getting that game time, obviously he had that infamous moment with the badge and everything like that. Obviously, it's just purely wind up, tongue in cheek sort of stuff. You want your players doing that in a derby match, riling them up. Obviously, it didn't go well for him that game, but the following time he got his revenge, didn't he, with a drop goal. His kicking games, I think, it's class, and I'd be happy to see him in a Barrow shirt again. I don't know what Dan like.
Yeah, I think the halfback I was thinking of would be more as ginger as Josh Wood, rather than as blonde as Jake Carter. I've already said too much now, but we'll have to wait and see in the next few weeks.
I'm not in the know, but I've seen the rumour. Is it possibly a Keithley halfback?
Oh, the former Whitehaven one.
Oh, wait there. I can hear that penny dropping.
That penny dropping. Well, I mean, Well, let's mention it. We're rumours. We're not saying this is gospel or anything.
Yeah, it's
Alex
all rumours,
Bishop.
isn't it? It's all
Yeah,
what's on the phone.
Alex Bishop.
Yeah.
He's still living locally. I see him quite often in the office below me in Whitehaven when he's doing his work. So if I see him, I'll ask him. But yeah, no, we've heard I've heard that rumour's been doing the rounds as well, and I believe he's still been living local to the LA postcode. I won't say any more than that. I believe he's been living down that way and sort of commuting between Keighley when needed and Whitehaven when needed. So yeah, that I've heard the name as well. So.
Yeah, I've heard he just walks on Tesco going, Burrow, Burrow. I'm not saying it's true or, you know what I mean, that means he signed her out, but another rumour, obviously, I've seen sort of floating around Hugh Worthington as well. Obviously, no truth that I've not known anything on that. Obviously, it's just another name I've seen flying about at the moment. So I feel like he could be another one who could potentially do that back row job for us.
Yeah, I mean, I spoke to Hugh and he said he had a few options. Raiders wasn't one of them. But that doesn't mean it hasn't happened since I've had that conversation with him. That was probably a couple of weeks before the end of the season when it was probably all realised that he wasn't going to stop at Whitehaven, that no one was going to stop at Whitehaven next season, potentially. But yeah, I think I'd like to see Hugh giving another shot in the Championship. He really, really impressed us when he come into Whitehaven and initially coming on trial. And I think sort of within 20 minutes of his debut game, it was like, can we keep him? Can we sign him now? Do we have to wait for the rest of the trial period? And he just sort of grew strength, and I think it's sort of indicative of the performances he was giving in a Whitehaven shirt, that when it was the sort of games where Whitehaven were conceding 58 or 60, that I was giving him man of the match, because he wasn't one that was giving up. He was still trying to run forward and give a go forward. So yeah, I hope he gets his shot at Championship Rugby League, and you never know, playing for Wales in this European Championships may open doors elsewhere for him. But yet again, it is a name that's been banging the drum of the Cumbrian rumour mill, hasn't it?
Who do you think he'll sign for? Hey, that one.
Hey.
Oh.
Who now?
You?
What?
You?
Sound like an owl?
Yeah.
if he does put a performance in for Barra, I'll remove his shit house that I gave him at the start of the season. I'll remove that blemish from his professional record.
There's going to be more and more rumours this time of year, and it's going to be the same probably up until Christmas time. But I think realistically, the main signings that they need to bring in, it's not an overnight fix. There'd have been Andy Gaffney at Barrow, at least, does a lot of work behind the scenes, and he gets these things in place with ample amount of time, because it's not a case of just finding someone available, like say, and signing them. There's a lot of the travel and the finances, and do the guys need to come and live down here? Do they need to jump on the travelling bus? There's loads to it. So a lot of the major ones, like the three we've seen already, they weren't an overnight flash in the pan. They've been in the pipe work for a while. So I think realistically, anybody else that comes in from this stage onwards, unless it's a major one to bring in, I'm pretty sure that they'll probably be local because of the work commitments and things like that. You know, maybe guys that were born and bred in Barrow. My background has changed again. Give me yes. But no. So I think from now on, I think most of the signings that do happen, for Barrow at least, will be more than likely local lads. Maybe bringing some more amateurs, some more lads from the Furnace Raiders will get a chance. Paul likes to bring up a few every year. And like Jordan said earlier on, it's when you bring in these amateurs, you can't really bring them into a championship background and expect them to excel like they did at the amateurs. In League One, taking nothing away from it, we've seen work it and do it over the last few years. It does work. So the way Whitehaven are rebuilding now, bringing in basically half of the NCL, they will do okay. But it won't be an overnight thing. It'll take a while to get used to the setup, get used to the pro players, or semi-pro players that they've already got in that setup. But I think after year 2, maybe into year 3, you'll see that NCL influx come good, and then that's when they'll come to Barrow.
I'm still waiting for the Danny Brough rumours from the Noughties to come into fruition as well, since he was spotted locally recently, wasn't he?
I've seen that picture. That was an absolute cracker. He got taken down as well, didn't it?
Yeah, we won't go into that too much, just in case there's reasons why he got taken down. But yeah, spotted locally, so that must mean he's signing for Barra. Andy from 2008, 2009 is absolutely buzzing.
Oh dear me.
So just going into some other news as well. The Cumbrian trio again played for Wales the other night with Hugh Worthington getting on the score sheet, Will Evans and Max Clark playing for Wales as well, defeating Serbia 46-0. So it's another cracking effort from the lads.
Yeah, another cracking effort from all three of Cumbria's representatives in that side. Whether they're going to remain with Cumbrian representatives, who knows? But yeah, no, it's obviously Hugh getting on the score sheet and got an opportunity to play France in their own backyard this Saturday, I think, and I think it's going to be streamed. If you find the European Rugby League Facebook, I might be wrong. Keep an eye. I'm sure it's there, but I'm sure it's going to be streamed. So if you're struggling for no rugby league action, that's something there you can watch. But yeah, it's good that yet again that our local clubs are able to provide. They may not be Cumbrian lads. Obviously, they are all sort of out of the area, but it's lads that have put their hard and blood, sweat, and tears into our clubs this season. So it's good to see them doing well with their international sides.
Definitely. Before I let you go, just a reminder about SpeakPipe, what we've got on our website. If you want to get your voice on the podcast, have a say, talk to us, set a talking point up, give Whitehaven a kick in for a laugh, slag Dan Payne's Gas and Lecky off, get your voice on the 90-second clip. See you out, team sport, and drop us a message.
So just one more time, Andy, for people that want to go and find this link for SpeakPipe and drop a 90-second audio file, easiest way to find it is?
Glad you asked, Daniel. What you do, you go onto our Odd Shitballs page. It's got all the episodes, all the little links there and everything like that to where you can find all our podcasts. Scroll down a little bit and you'll just see something saying SpeakPipe there. Click the link, go onto the website, and it'll just have a little button there where you can go and speak through it. It'd probably be easier doing it on your phone rather than a laptop, otherwise you'll have to pick up your laptop or PC, start shouting down that unless you've got a microphone attack. Yeah.
And what sort of voice notes are we after? Are we after people just saying a bit of anything? People wanting a quote off me for UW or transfer rumours, anything?
But we're like an example, Hi, Andy Thompson here, Barra fan. I just want to say I've been conned by Dan Payne and his dirty cult. He keeps standing in my front garden at 9 p.m. turning my telly off with his university remote. I'm absolutely fuming with it. But thanks. Enjoying the podcast. Cheers, lads. And, just something like that, for example. Anything like that will do.
And if you do want to say you've been conned by Dan's Gas and Lecky cult, you can find that webpage at OSB Pod. That's osbpod.podbean.com. Just throw it on there. That's where you get all our episodes. You can find your favourite platform. You can do what you want, apart from find cheap Gas and Lecky. And if you do want that, don't find Dan because he'll con you.
I'll be honest with you.
If the UK.
If your name appears anywhere on the Facebook page or anything like that for Odd Shit Balls or Twitter, or even if you reach out going, Dan enjoyed this episode, he'll probably get back to you going, what's your Gas and Lecky bill like? Because he's that hard-faced. He'll do it.
Well,
I did it to
Chris Foreman.
Phil Lackey. I showed you that conversation did I have with Phil Atkinson, yeah.
I said to you, Phil Lackey's firing all his trivia, and I'm like, what we'll do, we'll do a little bit on, get his voice on and that. We'll have him on it doing the trivia to replace you. And what happened? That's great, that, Phil. What's your Gas and Lecky bill like?
No shame.
They're not going to want to talk, are they?
No shame.
So if you do want to reach out, just do it to me, Jordan or Becca. We want best here.
Shout out.
I want all our listeners to pay less for what they're paying for now. That's all I want, mate. I'm looking out for our be all and end all. That's all I'm doing.
Sorry, I was going to be smug there because I've got Hive where I can turn my lights off, but then I realised I'd end up turning the whole call off. I was going to turn my lights off, going, he's outside my house again.
I was waiting for a tumbleweed.
So I was just about to say, notice how silent is golden. And just before we do sign off, obviously shout out to Becca. Couldn't be with us this evening. Becca, you know why we're shouting you out, but hopefully you're back with us next week.
Yeah, I love you, Becca. Take it easy, mate.
Check it easy.
Cheers, Becca.
Enjoy your night, guys.
Cheers, mate. See you later.
In a bit.